I don't think so. I'm looking at the levels of this is great stream.
Killing the stream game, man.
I think that's good. I can see your levels. I can see my levels. No. Here, okay. Try saying something now. Is
Potatoes.
that better, Scott? That should be better now. I
Yeah.
had your
Well.
volume turned way down by mistake.
Oh, okay.
I,
Okay.
I was trying to upstage you a little bit.
Dickhead. All right. Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Off the Cut, a podcast where we talk about building, making,
And answering all of your questions.
I'm Eric from Spenceley Design Co.
And I'm Zach from Zach Builds. If you have a question that you would like us to answer on air, you can send it to offthecutpodcast@gmail.com.
You can find both of us on YouTube, Instagram, and unfortunately, because we have to keep up with kids, you can find us on TikTok too.
All right, now let's get into the show.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Off the Cut. Off the what? Oh my God! I hope I didn't start a racial slur like last episode already.
Did you go back and re-listen to it?
No,
Okay.
I didn't go. Welcome to Off the Cut episode 27. We're up in Oh my gosh!
Okay,
I'm not
it's
even
okay.
drinking. We're up in Canada. Today is known as Monday. Monday, changing it up. August 15th. But here in the States, today is respectfully dedicated to the food of the day, lemon meringue pie.
I like lemon meringue pie.
I could have sworn that we've had something very similar to this in the past.
Yeah, that was my first thought, but then I said that once before and I was wrong. So I was like, don't look like an idiot in front of the
Yeah.
viewers, Zach. Don't say anything this time.
Yeah, maybe it was key lime pie.
It was key lime pie, which is kind of the same, maybe
Yeah, I don't know. It's a citrus, custardy,
gelatiny.
like gelatin, whipped creamy kind of
Yeah,
concoction.
yeah. Which, if you had to choose between the two, which would it be?
Oh God, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever had either of them a sufficient amount of times to really discern the two.
Key
You
lime
know?
pie to me, and maybe it's just because it has the word key in it, but I associate that with Florida, and I'm not sure if it's because I went on a vacation as a kid to Florida and I had a lot of key lime pie during that
Well,
trip.
if memory serves me correctly,
Mm-hmm.
key limes are those little itty bitty limes. They're like the size of a golf ball. And I believe that they're grown in the Florida Keys.
Okay.
Or I just made up a dad fact
I
that
mean,
everybody believes and has no bearing of truth whatsoever.
let's not even look it up. Let's just let that one be out there in the ether, and
Yeah.
maybe like 30 years from now, you're gonna hear somebody be like, they grow these key these key limes in southern Florida, and that's what they make the pie with, and it's just completely wrong. You'll be like, I started that.
That's a good hashtag. Hashtag dad facts.
Dad facts, yeah, I like that.
Like growing up, did you ever be in the car or whatever, like your dad or grandpa or something, and you just ask like these dumb questions like, "Hey, why is the sky blue?" And
Mhm.
like whoever you're asking is thinking in the head like, "Oh my God, I have no idea."
Yeah.
And they're like, well, and then they just go on this whole tangent and you're like, I never knew that.
Yeah, definitely. I was definitely that annoying kid who was asking a million questions about everything, every simple little thing.
Well, yeah, because you just want to know how things worked.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I want to know how something works, something that's
Okay.
been driving me nuts
Okay.
recently.
Okay.
And ooh, that was a beautiful sound.
Pineapple bubbly.
Pineapple. I got what have I got tonight? This is everybody's favorite section of the show. What are we drinking? And this
Mhm.
is blackberry bubbly.
So last week you had like blackberry and something else, right?
Blueberry pomegranate.
Blueberry pomegranate. Right.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice. I
Yeah.
haven't had that blackberry before.
The blackberry is good. I enjoy the
Oh
blackberry
yeah,
quite a bit.
it's delicious. But within the past couple of weeks, I've been absolutely swamped with this, and I genuinely can't figure out if there's anything you can do about it.
Okay.
And what I'm talking about is just like those nonsensical spam emails.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like the like, "Hey, you've won $40 million," or
Mhm.
like McAfee virus thing. And I'll literally like go delete the junk email and then like 3 hours later I'll have like 60 of them, all
Really?
that say like McAfee support. I'm like, what in the F is going on, man? This is driving me nuts. Cause I'm an inbox zero kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's your first mistake right there. Is I gave
Yeah.
up on that battle a long time ago. Um, but so are these getting past your spam filter? Like you use Gmail.
Yeah.
You use Gmail, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not an animal.
Yeah. So I find that like lately I've had a couple spam emails kind of trickle through my spam filter. I would say over the last like 3 months, it's been worse than it's ever been in my like entire Gmail life. But it's still
Okay.
not
Okay.
bad. But it's still like only like maybe one a week. It's really,
Oh.
really not too bad. So I'm
I guess
surprised you're getting like 50.
yeah, but they're not going to my main inbox. They're going to like that like spam junk mail inbox or whatever. But I thought that Google anything that they could discern as 100% spam, it doesn't even show up, right? It just
That's
is
good.
kicked out.
That's a good question. I'm not sure to be honest.
Hmm.
Um, I kind of gave up on my spam box on like my personal email, but on my business, like I have like a Zach Builds email, and I will check
Yeah.
that one because I do find occasionally brands will message me and it'll go to my
Hmm.
spam box. So
Yeah,
there's
I
been a
find
couple
that too.
times there where I've actually made myself a couple $1,000 by going into my spam box and like checking to make
Yeah.
sure. Um, so yeah, it's that's interesting. But on my main primary email account, it's just a wasteland and I never go in there.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts because like it shows up. I use like the email client. So like you're probably familiar with like Outlook or
Yeah,
whatever, right?
yeah, sure.
I use one for the Mac called Mail. So it
Mhm.
puts like all of your different email addresses in like one portal and you can just go through it. But like did that junk or spam folder just it'll be like 31 with a little bubble next to it. I'm like, "What? I gotta clear this out. It's driving me nuts.
I like that you're so committed to inbox zero that you also do it for your spam inbox.
I have to.
I'm
I
gonna
have
go.
to. Like
Uh
oh,
oh, this is gonna be a great podcast, but I'm just gonna look up on my main inbox how many unread spam messages I have. I don't even know if it'll say.
oh,
So right off the bat, it says 99 plus.
oh, dude,
Uh,
that gives me anxiety.
I mean, okay, there's some good ones in here. A lot of National Casino, Lucky Day. This one's just no subject. Oh, it's kind of like a
Those are perfect.
yeah. There it won't actually give me a count, but there's a lot in here.
Yeah.
But then
But,
again,
like, I think it's one of those things you have to commit to it. Like,
yeah.
for TikTok, for example, I've committed to not giving a damn
Yeah.
about TikTok. When I log on the thing, it just says, like, 99
Yeah.
on whatever button that is. I don't even know what the button does if
Yeah.
I hit 99 because I don't care, and that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it's funny that that doesn't bother you. Like actual real people commenting on your videos. Yeah, nah, I'm not interested in that. But let me get this McAfee spam email out of my inbox.
But then yeah, I know that it's very ironic. But then what I'm interested in is the button at the bottom that says, like, unsubscribe.
Oh,
I
that's
have a feeling that that will just F your computer just as bad as clicking on any other link,
I
right?
would never trust that unsubscribe on a spam email. That only works for like legit newsletters and stuff.
Yeah, like when Old Navy or, like,
Exactly.
Target sends you 35 emails a
Yeah.
day.
I think that was the thing they added because legally, I think they have to do that in some jurisdiction. It might be Europe or something like that. They have to have that unsubscribe button because it never used to exist back in the day. Once you were on an email list, that was it. You were just screwed.
Yeah. Well, that's actually why I had to make this email, the one that we do the Google Meet thingy on.
Yeah.
I had to make my own custom email domain for me to send out automated emails.
Oh, interesting. Because
Yeah,
you
and
like
go
you
ahead.
couldn't do it from like a regular Gmail account.
You can, but there's like a substantially higher chance of it getting to junk or spam.
I see. Because it, yeah, they're like, if the spam is originating from one of our accounts, then we're like one step ahead of it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They can see that you're sending it out to 100 or 1,000 people at a time.
Exactly,
Gotcha,
exactly.
gotcha.
But so I had to do that, and with that, have you noticed that every single email here's another way to easily tell if an email is spam.
Yeah.
If you go to the bottom, 1, they legally have to have the unsubscribe button,
Mhm.
and 2, they legally have to have an address.
Oh,
Well, at
well,
least in the States, they do.
I'm gonna check that.
I
That's
don't know about in
interesting.
Canada. So, like, here's the thing. I live in an apartment. I
Yeah.
don't have like a PO box,
Mhm.
nor do I want to pay for a PO box.
Oh, you don't wanna give away your home address.
No.
Yeah, yeah,
So
true.
the address at the bottom of my emails is fake.
Oh, good, interesting. You should have just given, like, one of your neighbor's places. That way,
I
like,
know.
if well, I was gonna say that way if somebody sends you, like, a letter bomb or something like that, you could conceivably still get it, but I guess you wouldn't want that.
Yeah, it's well, I'm not even getting into the details because I'm not trying to
Yeah,
have any effing weirdos get
yeah.
after me. But yeah, the address at the bottom of my emails is fake.
Let me ask you this: if you were to
Mhm.
show your car in a story on Instagram or a YouTube video, would you blur the license plate?
So the answer is yes.
Okay.
However, however, I don't remember who it was. I think it was like a cooking creator that I watched. Because again, you and I talk that a lot of
Yeah.
the stuff we talk about or watch isn't
Yeah.
woodworking. Um, and they like had posted a story or something about it, and they were like, "Hey, I'm genuinely asking if there are any lawyers or people who work in like FBI, police, or whatever. Hypothetically, if someone watching my videos were to see my license plate, is there anything that anyone would be able to do?"
Mhm.
And the answer that they basically crowdsourced was unless somebody has access to like a police database where they can, quote unquote, run your license plate,
Yeah.
no one would ever be able to find out it was you.
Yeah. I think that's
And
yeah, that's pretty realistic.
yeah, sure. Like if you have a custom license plate that says Zach Builds,
Mhm.
okay, well, people are going to look at that and be like, oh, yeah, that's Zach,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Which actually kind of that's not a bad idea. I think that would fit within the license plate format. Maybe I'll do that.
What's the limit in Ontario? Is it 8 characters,
I
seven
think it might be
characters,
9 characters.
9?
Yeah, because we normally have 8 characters. No, we normally have 7 characters, but
And you have the little crown thingy in the middle.
crown thing in the middle, which I believe is optional, because I've definitely seen vanity plates that didn't have that. So, and I'm pretty sure commercial plates can have up to 8 characters.
Okay.
It's either 8 or 9. It's either 8 or 9.
ZACBUILDS. That's 9.
So potentially, maybe.
Mm. Mhm.
I could
Mhm.
always drop the U too. I feel like people would get it without the U. Zach
Oh, that's
builds.
true. Or they would just think that you had, real difficult time spelling.
Which I do. So they wouldn't be
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. You know what does drive me nuts though?
What?
Is when you're going down, you're going down the freeway or whatever, and you're bored looking at license plates,
Hmm.
and someone has a vanity license plate. And for the life of you, you can't even fathom what it's trying to say.
Yeah, that's so true. Because immediately you see a vanity plate, you're like, "What's this guy? What are you trying to say here?" Like you're trying to decipher in your head, right? Because it's always nobody can ever make anything that easily fits into 8 characters. They're dropping the vowels. They're replacing,
Yeah.
they're replacing letters with numbers that kind of sound similar. Yeah. You know which ones I do
It's
like
tough.
though is the one where the guy will go and do like 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 or like 7 1s or 6 1s or L's
Yes.
or something like that because then it just screws with the
MVs and Ns
yeah, exactly, and it
and
just
Ws.
yeah, it just screws with the police when they're trying to give them a ticket or something like that. I do like those people.
But do you think that if you're that guy that has like MVMW, MVN, and W, something like that, like you
Yeah,
get pulled over, the police officer is going to be like, this guy's an absolute jerk.
yeah.
I'm 100% giving this guy a ticket.
They go extra hard on you for sure.
Right? Right?
I think the only way it would protect you is like against like the automated cameras or something like that, where they take a photo of the license plate And then there's like a really bored person in an office, and they're trying to, from a little pixelated photo, they're trying to decipher your license plate, and they're like, ah, screw it, whatever, I'll just
Like,
move on
F
to the next one.
this.
Yeah, just toss that one in the
Next.
garbage bin.
Well, why like, they spent so much money putting on those automated cameras and, like, red light cameras. We
Yeah,
had them in the States a ton, like,
yeah.
15 years ago, and, like, most places, they're not there anymore for us.
Yeah, Toronto went on a big blitz, I guess around the start of COVID, and they threw a bunch of the speed cameras up. And one, they started getting vandalized like crazy, which
That's awesome.
I always appreciate the people who go out there with like a bucket of paint and like dump it on it.
Yeah.
And but the other thing is like the red light cameras, they started finding out that they were causing more accidents than they prevented because all of a
People
sudden
slamming their brakes on
people
them.
are slamming their brakes because they're afraid to get a ticket, and then somebody behind them is rear-ending them.
Yeah.
So they're not really, they don't actually make anybody safer. They just, generate more money for the city, which, yeah, it's
But here's
not
the
the best
thing,
use of
those
resources.
cameras those cameras are taking photos with the quality of, like a potato.
I know they're
Like,
horrible.
how do they even see your license plate?
I don't know. It's a great question. And they have like the big like flash strobe light that goes off in the middle of the night. Have you ever seen that? Like a red light camera catching somebody at night, and there's like this big bright flash. It's like a bolt of lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like they're, I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe it must work if they're doing it, but I find it so hard to believe that the potato quality cameras are actually capturing
Yeah.
anything at night, let alone during the day.
Ooh, here's a good business idea. We
Okay.
start a camera company, call
Hmm.
it Potato Cameras,
Yeah.
because it's irony. You
Yes.
would think that they're gonna be garbage cameras, but
Hmm.
they're actually gonna be, like, the most HD thing you could find,
Okay. Okay.
like
I
32K.
I mean, there are good camera sensors out there. I don't understand why like they just don't buy like an off the shelf like Canon camera or Sony camera and just stick it in the box.
Government contracts is
Yeah,
why.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have somebody who's selling them a webcam from 1995 for
Yeah,
$40,000.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Oh god, but, that's yeah, that stuff drives me nuts. I actually got the only time I ever got dinged by a red light cam
Hmm.
was, like, 2005?
Yeah.
It was my grandpa's funeral,
Oh,
and so we
jeez.
were in, like, the funeral procession thing, where they, like, you all drive
Oh
in a line or
no,
whatever.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I got dinged, but here's the thing, they sent it to me in the mail, like, 6 months later.
yeah,
So, like, it was they were like, I'm making this day up, October 12th, and I'm like, I wasn't up in that area then.
yeah,
And I genuinely had to, like, go back and, like, think when I was there, and then I just replied back to them with I was in a funeral procession,
yeah.
and I got a reply back that were like, "Okay, you're good."
Oh, okay. Well, at least that's good. At
Like,
least some, but they could have seen that from the picture, right? Like it's,
you had the little flag
you
thing.
got the flag and it's like a bunch of cars going through the intersection.
I was the last car.
Right. But still, that
Like,
seems,
it was stupid. It
yeah.
was stupid.
Yeah. Didn't they used to have like police like escorting the funeral processions? I seem to remember that from being a kid. They would have like a cop at the front and back or something.
Maybe.
Or maybe that's only when police die. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how this all works. I'm not a frequent funeral goer.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. I
Can't say
mean,
it's not a big pastime of mine.
and may it never be.
No. But you know who is a good or who really enjoys going to funerals?
Yeah.
That's a terrible segue, right?
Yeah, I think so, but you're
All right,
gonna
well, we'll just go with it.
you're gonna throw a
I
patron
already
under the
dug the
bus.
hole. Yeah, our new patron,
Dug the grave.
Devin Perkins. Devin
Devin
Perkins.
Perkins. That's a good
Uh,
name too. I like all our patrons' names. Maybe it's just because they're becoming patrons and I have like an affinity or a thankfulness for them. But every time you say one of those names, I'm like, ooh, that's a good strong name.
yeah, that's a good strong, like a good sports name. Like
Yeah.
Devin Perkins sounds like someone who's just a mean pickleball player.
I was gonna say like a mean quarterback, but okay, let's go with pickleball player.
Quarterback, yeah, well, eh, pickleball, that's been all the rage recently with the kids.
What is pickleball? I've heard of it
It's
before,
that,
but I've
like,
never played it.
awkward, like, miniature, like, tennis thing. I don't
Oh,
know,
okay,
that you
okay,
play with, like, a plastic stick and it's really loud or something.
okay,
It's
okay.
probably one of those nonsensical games that I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, when you had, like, gym class, right?
Oh yeah, oh
You
yeah.
never once played basketball,
No,
football,
no.
baseball. They would make up the most asinine games in the world,
Yeah,
and those were the games that you're gonna play.
it was like the Walmart version of sports. You know what I mean?
Not even.
Yeah, it was, I don't even we rarely even played any, like, real organized sports. We do, like, the parachute thing, which I actually really enjoy, where you get the big parachute and then you, like
Oh, buddy, do I.
you lift it up and you sit on the edge of it and then it slowly deflates with everybody in it. Oh, that's great.
If you didn't grow up in the '90s, you don't know what that is,
Yeah, do
though.
kids still do that? Probably not,
I
eh?
hope so.
I bet one
I hope
kid
so.
once suffocated inside underneath a parachute, and they're like, "We can't do this anymore." That's it.
Oh my god. Nylon wait, I typed in nylon parachute and it came up nylon parachute pants.
Where would you even get one of those big multicolored parachutes? Because it wasn't a real parachute, was it?
No.
It
I
was like
mean,
again
like
going back to government contracts. There's probably somebody who sold those to all the school boards in the '90s.
oh, wait, I can find it on Amazon.
Oh, really?
No way. It says a 16-foot one
Mm-hmm.
is only $47.
16-foot diameter? Guess it must be. What
Yeah.
other measure or radius? 16 foot. How many like eighth grade or seventh
It
grade
says
kids could you fit under that?
16 children.
Okay. Okay.
But dude, I feel like we had like a good like and again, this is my old brain thinking. I felt we had like 30 some kids in like a gym class.
That's my memory of it too. We had 30 kids plus the teacher was also in there.
Yeah. What was the point of that?
I don't know. It was cool. It was fun.
I mean, gym class for me growing up was basically just like I'm sure the teachers just like they needed a break and like the teachers just were like, "Hey, we're all going to go out for a smoke break and
Yeah,
get
totally.
high behind
Yeah.
the school.
Yeah.
Take the
Yeah.
kids for take the kids for 40 minutes and make them play with a parachute."
I'm sure they were like, these kids are pissing me off. They got too much
Mhm.
energy. Let's go run them around the gym for a couple hours. I didn't
But
even
then they
think.
smell.
Huh? Oh yeah, they
Then
smell, but whatever. They always the kids smell no matter what you do, right?
That's true.
I don't
That's
remember.
true.
I hated having baths as a kid. It was like a one bath a week.
Yeah, I don't really recall enjoying baths all that much.
Hmm.
However, I do recall like playing with toys in the bathtub
Oh
was
yeah,
always my jam.
that's a good time. You get a nice little boat, rubber ducky. I
Oh,
used to
yeah.
love draining the tub and then watching the little model boat go around and around. Great
I know what
times.
I'm doing tonight.
Oh,
My favorite thing was the little guy that hooked on the faucet, like little duck. So when the water came out, the little duck feet would flap up and
oh,
down.
never had
Yeah.
that. Never
Oh,
had
you
that.
go buy yourself one now.
Yeah.
I'll send one to you.
Well, I was gonna say, are you a shower or a bath guy?
Well, no, I'm an adult, so I take showers
Okay.
now.
I have a couple friends who are still into the bath scene.
See, here's my thing about baths. Like, you're like me. You and I cannot fit in a regular regulation bath.
Yeah, it's true. You need a specialty tub. Otherwise, my knees are like up in my face.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's not a
And
comfortable
then
environment.
you got like these bath bomb things, which I'll be the first person to admit, like fruity, frilly, girly, you know, what am I trying to say?
Like
Like
scents.
beauty
Beauty
products.
products. Okay, yeah, sure.
Dude, I'm game for that stuff. Like
Hmm.
good smelling
Oh
lotion,
yeah.
hand
Sign me up.
soaps,
You know what I do
all in.
every once in a while? I treat
What's that?
myself to Sophie's conditioner.
Oh, baby. That's nice. Not that 2-in-1 stuff, huh?
No, no. Normally I use the cheap drugstore brand, but every once in a while when I'm feeling like I want to treat myself, I go for her high end stuff.
And then you're like, man, what have I been doing? My whole life is a lie.
My hair is so silky smooth right now.
Yeah. But then if you use too much, she'd be like, Where's my shampoo going? Where's my
Exactly.
conditioner?
That's why it's an occasional thing. It's just a treat. It's I
Yeah.
gotta fly under the radar.
Well, like the other, maybe a month ago, Miranda's like, "Hey, I got a bunch of stuff. Like, when you're out, do you mind grabbing me this stuff from the makeup store?"
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm thinking like, "Oh
That's a scary
God,
request.
yeah." I was like, "All right." I was like, "If you send me a photo of the exact thing that you want and tell me what it's called, I'll go get it."
Yeah.
Dude, this bottle of shampoo that was like the size of a can,
Mm-hmm.
like a water can,
Mm-hmm.
was $25.
Dude, I've Sophie's got some that are like $80 for like a bottle that's like this size. Maybe this
Dude,
is even generous.
I don't spend $80 in shampoo in a year.
My shampoo costs like $5 or $6 or something. I don't even
And
know.
even then, I feel like it's highway robbery.
Yeah. Like, do I really need this? I don't know.
It's a nightmare.
Uh,
But anyway, you know who really enjoys high-end cosmetics as well?
who's that? Our top tier patrons?
Our top tier patrons. They thought I forgot them,
No, we just
and
got
I
wrapped
did.
up talking about stuff.
I and I did forget them, but then I looked back at my notes. We got Wes Willard,
Mm-hmm.
Corey Duvall,
Mm-hmm.
and Scott Eastman.
Reverse order again today. I like it.
Oh yeah, well, gotta keep them on their feet. And Corey's actually got a question. He's got a good
Oh,
question for us, but I think we're
okay.
gonna save that one for the after show.
Oh, that good, eh? It's
Um,
like it's a spicy
it's a
question.
good one.
Okay.
It's a good one. I had one question come in,
Okay.
and it's from Joseph Santos.
Okay.
And he wants to know, well, I guess it comes directly at me, but we're gonna spin this question off a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
think I know where this question's coming from. He said in episodes 25 and 26 of
Okay.
the podcast,
Rack my
was that
brain trying to remember those last week and the week
when was it?
before.
Was that last week?
I think so. It was ages ago. It's gone from
Okay,
my
yeah.
memory.
It's an eternity. You and Zach both talked about owning multi-tools.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Question mark. Zach sounds like he likes his DeWalt. So I think where this is going is he sent me a message in like early July
Yeah.
asking something about multi-tools, and I was like, "Yeah, sorry, man, I don't have one." And then I got that boatload of stuff from DeWalt
Mm-hmm.
the like a week or so ago, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. So now that I do have one, um, and so I think the question is like maybe probably clearing that up, right? He was like, "What the hell? You said told me you didn't have one, but
Oh,
now you
I see.
do."
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. That
Um,
makes sense.
and then like maybe suggestions when looking at a multi-tool, because like he was kind of like, "Oh, I'm in the market. What kind of what things should I look for? Maybe like what for people who don't know,
Yeah.
would you use a multi-tool for?"
Okay. Do you want to? What do you want to do first? You want to do what to look for, or do you want to do uses?
I don't care.
Okay, well, let's do. I'll do a couple quick uses. I mean, definitely plunge cuts. Anytime you need to like cut straight into something,
Yeah.
or I don't know, like cutting holes in drywall. I think we gave that example last week. Cutting light
Yeah.
switches in a drywall wall. It's great for that. I also use mine a lot for. Okay, so say you're installing hardwood floor, and
Hmm.
you don't want to cut your hardwood floor like around the door jamb because that's
Hmm.
really annoying to do. That's a really complicated cut, and so you'll never get it perfect. So what I do is I'll take a piece of the hardwood floor. I will then take the multi-tool blade, rest it on top of the hardwood floor, and then
Hmm.
I will undercut the door jamb such that I can slide a full piece of hardwood underneath it. That way, you get a
Oh.
perfectly seamless hardwood floor going underneath your door jamb. And I'll do that with all sorts of trim and even tile floor, whatever.
Okay.
Basically, a lot of the time I will undercut the trim and then just slide the floor under that, which gives it room to expand and contract with the seasons. And also just makes your installation a lot easier.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
So I always tell people that and so when we mean multi-tool, we mean
Also,
oscillating
yeah.
multi-tool,
Yeah.
not those stupid like Swiss Army knives
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
seem really badass, but are most of the time useless.
You know what I like to think that the more things a single tool does, the worse it does all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you see a
Yeah.
tool that's like does 12 things, it's assume it's going to do none of those well, and it's probably not worth your time.
Like the miter saw table saw combo.
Correct. Correct.
It seems like like an absolute nightmare.
Yeah,
But
it really does.
I always tell people that the multi-tool is like your best friend for awkwardness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
Like,
you can make all sorts of cuts with that you could never make otherwise, and the ergonomics of it are such that you can get it into some crazy spaces.
yeah. I almost think of it as like a chisel almost
Mm,
that you can just hold because you're like, oh, I can, hold and maneuver a chisel any which way I want,
yeah,
but that you just kind of hold and it just buzzes and saws away at stuff.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I use
you
it all
know,
the time for like, you're under the sink and you got to cut a little ABS drain pipe. Like, great
oh
for
yeah,
that. Just zip right through it. Trying to think of some other uses for it. Oh, you can throw sanding pads on them. You can use it like a little sander, although I wouldn't recommend that for any large area. It can be handy, especially, if you need one of those triangular tips to get into like a corner or something like that. It's good for
be
that.
honest. Have you ever done that?
Once, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think
Like,
so.
you have that option, but I don't think I've ever done it.
No, but I also have like better sanders that I would reach for before that. But if it's in a pinch or something like that, you can just use it for cutting random stuff too. Like I had to cut some aluminum track for some lights that I was making, and I just used it like almost like a miter saw or whatever to just do a cross cut on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, because you can get the blades that like will cut anything. You can
yeah,
cut through a damn nail with those
yeah,
things.
exactly. So why not? I mean, if it's for a small little cut like that.
So for my knowledge, I Googled like the types of multi-tool blades that you
Yes.
can get. And I came
Oh,
across an article called The 5 Best Blades You Must Own for Your Multi-Tool.
okay.
And tell me if you've ever heard of this.
Okay.
This one is called the electrical box cutout blade.
Ooh,
It is literally that what like 2 inch by 3 inch square,
really?
and you plunge it like straight in. I
No,
wonder
I
if I can
gotta I gotta
send you
see
this
this.
link. Can I send you a message in this chat thing?
Uh,
Oh, I think I got it. Send. Okay, I think it comes through in the Google chat thing
okay.
now.
I don't want to do that though because it might live stream for everybody.
Oh, well, whatever.
I found it. I found it. Is it
Okay.
is it Amazon and it looks like this?
Yeah.
That is
How wild was that?
that's crazy.
So,
I
I wonder if that actually works.
Oh man, if it wasn't $50, I would buy one just for S's and giggles. See that? I censored myself. I was gonna
Yeah, I
swear
know.
there.
We're gonna try to get through the whole episode without having to mark it explicit.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. That's wild. All right, what else is on that list? Because now that's got me kind of
Okay.
excited.
The next one is an angled blade. So it's your typical like flat uh oscillating multi-tool blade. However, it takes like a sharp 90
Oh,
degree turn.
would it work that? I
That kind of
guess.
seems unnecessary. Why don't you just pivot your blade?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you just pivot your blade? Interesting. I mean, I guess there. You know what? There's some weird scenario where you might need that, but it seems a little excessive to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this one.
Okay.
What about a mini? So you know the scroll saw? It's like that bandsaw, but
Yep.
has the blade that's like a piece of dental
Yep.
floss.
Yep.
There's one of those attachments for a
What?
multi-tool.
Scroll
Yeah.
saw multi tool.
It's called the mini scroll saw.
Dead air. Dead
I don't know
air.
about
Dead
this.
air. Oh
That,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
but
Here
it's
it is.
stupid.
It's kind of like Oh, what do they call those tools? A fret saw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, if we
I
cut
can't imagine I'd ever use
if we cut more dovetails, maybe we would use them.
that. That's funny.
Yeah. Here. Dremel's got kind of an interesting photo of how you would use that. Let me hide my
Yeah,
face. There you go. Eh.
that looks stupid. I'm never gonna do that. There's zero accuracy with that though.
Oh, zero. Zero. Good luck getting like a
It's
flat
useless.
cut with something like that. Okay, so let's talk about what you would look for in a multi-tool if you were in the market for a new one.
Okay. Well, first off, I actually was in the market because I had that rigid one.
Yeah.
Obviously, with we don't need to rehash that. Got rid of all my rigid tools.
Hmm.
Um, that multi tool was trash.
Okay. Why was it
It
trash?
okay. So regardless of it being a rigid tool,
Hmm.
if it was a Festool, if it was whatever brand, I would have told you it was trash. First off, the uh like, the vibration of it was so bad, there was no dampening, so if you
Yeah.
had it on your hand for more than, like, 20 seconds, your hand started to burn.
Have you ever used one of those vibrating tools that's so bad at the end of the day, like your fingertips are numb?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how this was.
Okay.
It
All
was
right.
awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It also the feature that I don't know why this is so difficult. Every single brand seems to have a different way that the blades attach. And if you just look at if you look at the multi-tool online, you are never going to be able to discern it
Correct.
unless you physically get your hands on the tool.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's probably the worst part about shopping for a multi-tool is that there's all of these things that can make or break a multi-tool that you'll never
Yeah.
really know until you get it out of the box and start using it,
Yes.
which really sucks. So I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I guess YouTube is probably your friend in this regard. Uh,
Yeah.
but like, you need to find a good channel that's done like a bunch of like objective testing. Because I would say like the vibration and the dampening are
Huge.
and noise too. I used to have a who made my old
Yeah, like a Bosch or something.
I have a Bosch right now that's pretty good actually. Oh man, I had another brand. I think maybe it was a Dremel. I think it was a Dremel.
Okay.
And it was
Okay.
which is also owned by Bosch by the way. It was super super loud. It was horrible. It was like ear splitting.
Yeah.
Um so the Bosch was definitely a step up from that. I've heard the DeWalt that you have is actually even
Oh,
quieter.
I love mine. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I've got whatever I think it's their I would assume if they send it to me, it's probably their newest offering, right?
Yeah, probably.
It's the one where, like, right by the head, it literally just has, like, a trigger grip, so
Yeah.
you just squeeze, like, the little trigger on the head, pop a blade in and out instantly.
It's okay, so now let me ask you this. Does it have a variable speed trigger? Because that's an item.
I'm fairly positive.
Does it have just like an on off switch or does it have like a trigger
It's
with
a
some motion?
trigger.
I feel like if it has trigger with like a good like swing to it, then it's probably variable speed.
Yeah, in all fairness, I've only just kinda dicked around with it, and
Okay.
then I had to do a promo for, Pony Jorgensen for their new multi-tool thing, and that's about all I've used it for, but,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it's not like I have hours and hours and hours of use with it, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I think those are two big things I watch. You touched on this before, but like the type of blade it uses,
Mhm.
the Bosch one, the Fine one, and I think maybe the Milwaukee one. Though, don't quote me on that. All use a proprietary blade system, whereas I
Yeah, they're like
believe
Starlock or some weird something.
exactly. And whereas the DeWalt and I think probably the Rigid, they just use like a generic head that's
Yeah.
like compatible across a lot of different brands.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that would I would definitely go for the generic one. Don't go for the one because then you're basically locked into only buying Bosch blades and they're gonna be twice as much or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, here's the honest to God's truth.
Hmm.
Go to Home Depot, Lowe's, go buy yourself, like,
Sure.
6
Yeah,
multi-tools,
just keep the
take
best
them
one.
home, open them up,
Yeah.
and then, like, they will take it back.
Yeah. The, I don't think the big box stores get enough credit for how good they are about taking things back. Because
Yeah.
you can use something for a week, take it back. Like, I didn't like it. They'll be like, okay, no problem. We'll just throw it back on the shelf as an open box. Like, give you your
Yeah.
full refund. It's kind of nice.
At
I
least the way they do it here, they, like, scan your ID, so if you're, like, habitually doing it, then they're gonna
mm,
be like, "Dude."
come on, come on. I actually
Yeah.
thought about that when I first started my YouTube channel. I was like, maybe I'll do tool reviews. I thought that would be like a
Yeah.
big cornerstone of my channel. I was like, but I go broke buying tools to review them all the time. I was like, I could just go and buy them, use them for the YouTube video, and then return them. But as you know from my channel, I never actually ended up doing that.
I've gotten Oh, wait, hold on, we got a comment on the live stream.
Oh, oh,
Wes Willard said that the oscillating multi-tool electric box blade works great.
okay, all right. Thank you, Wes. I would like to try that out next time I'm installing some switches.
What was we saying? Multi-tools. Yeah, just go buy yourself a bunch of multi-tools.
Yeah.
And then I guess you're also limited to whatever battery platform you're on, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
a whole
that's
nother
and
situation.
I would go cordless over
Oh,
corded
for sure.
every single day of the week because that's a tool where again it's like you're in weird situations. You don't want to be yanking an extension cord with you.
Ooh, I wanna play a game. We're gonna call it corded or cordless. I'm gonna
Okay.
name some tools.
Okay.
Uh, sander.
Probably corded.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Because you're gonna be doing it for a while.
Yeah.
You want to, if you're gonna have dust extraction on it, you might as well have a power cord on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Multi-tool, we both said cordless.
For sure.
Recip saw.
Oh, this one I could go either way.
Okay.
So I have the DeWalt's one-handed recip saw. It's
Like
like
the
they're
atomic thing or
the
whatever.
atomic one.
I think I got that too.
Surprisingly good, man. I use that thing
Mhm.
a lot. I also have a corded recip saw that I use. So I would say if you're gonna be doing like demolition, like like say you're like cutting the roof off of a building, I would go corded all day. But
Yeah,
if you're just snipping some studs, like say you're taking out like one wall and you just want to snip some
cordless.
studs, cordless. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one really depends on how big the job is. But I will reach for the cordless one like 90% of the time, I find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used whatever, like the absolute bottom of the barrel cheapest recip saw cordless that Ryobi has
Yeah.
at my buddy's mom's house the other weekend because she wanted us to like cut a bunch of trees down. And of course, she has no tools.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, well, I guess we're gonna go get a recip saw.
Mhm.
And I was already over there and she had like a Ryobi drill and driver.
Got the
So I
batteries.
was like, okay, well, I might as well just buy the Ryobi one.
Mhm.
Dude, it worked great.
Okay. All right.
Take down trees and tree limbs and
Yeah.
stuff.
And then you got the cordless one, I'm assuming, right? 'Cause you have the
Yeah, I got the
yeah, yeah,
cordless
okay.
one. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. I want to get the DeWalt one. DeWalt makes a 20-volt one, but then they also make a 20-volt slash 60-volt one, which
Oh, the
I
flex
assume,
thingy.
yeah, which I assume is much more powerful. So I want to get that one. But I don't know. I haven't got around to it.
Yeah.
I tend to destroy the recip saws on job sites. Like they get used and abused. So
Oh, they get
I'm
kicked around like a new child.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So I keep getting the Milwaukee Sawzall, like the corded one. It's like 150 bucks. I usually get like 2 or 3 years out of them, and you just beat on them all day long, and they usually keep taking it. So I'm a little worried that a cordless one that's like 350 or something like that might die a little sooner. But I don't know. I'd love to be proved wrong. We'll
How's
see.
like the DeWalt warranty on their cordless stuff? Or they like
I
swap it out?
literally I've never had a tool die in any sort of time frame where I was like, I need to make a warranty claim on this. Like the only tools that I've cordless tool, DeWalt tools that I've ever had die on me were like 5 years old, and it's like at that
Yeah.
point, it's like, and that's like daily abuse on a construction site.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it doesn't owe me anything at that point. I'd feel like a dick trying to make a warranty claim on something like that.
It's like, do I even want this thing repaired that's already 5 years old? It's like I right now I could probably buy something
Yeah,
worth my time better that's gonna function way better too.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
here's a question for you, and
Okay.
I know this is a small subset really only ever applies to us. When we get these free tools,
Hmm.
are we covered by warranties?
Great question. I don't know. I mean, probably. I,
Because with my rigid stuff, like I couldn't register it because I
oh,
didn't have a
really?
receipt.
Oh, interesting. I've never even tried to register it or anything like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know how the DeWalt works. I don't know.
yeah, here's the real answer is that I'm sure if I just said, "Hey, it broke. Can you send me another one?" They'd be
Yeah,
like,
just
"Oh,
give me
yeah, sure."
another one.
Yeah.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
But
That's
that's a
very
good
valid.
question. Like, okay, like say if you gave it away to somebody, like say you gave it to your dad. You're like, "Hey, dad, I got an extra drill.
Sure.
Take this one." Would he be able to make a warranty claim? Oof.
I don't know.
Yeah, good question. I mean, probably the same thing applies again. You just be
Yeah.
like, "Give
Yeah.
back to me, dad. I'll just ask for another one."
Yeah. Let's see.
Mm.
Circular saw, corded or cordless?
You know what? Cordless. I used to say corded, but I
What are you, an
mean,
animal?
well, because I got burned back in the day. I don't think you ever experienced this. I had like first or second generation cordless tools.
Okay.
When they had the nickel,
NiCad
yeah,
batteries.
the NiCad batteries, and they sucked, man. They sucked so bad. You would get like 3 cuts out of a circular saw, and then it would need a new battery.
Oh.
And I had a cordless circular saw. I had a cordless reciprocating saw. Were just all garbage. They were so bad, and it turned me off cordless tools for such a long time.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Oh.
now I have 3, 4 cordless circular saws. I wouldn't even consider buying a corded one at this point.
No.
Yeah.
Like, especially with like the bigger batteries. Like I got that Milwaukee one
Yeah.
with like whatever their super duper I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
All the super duper batteries, dude. That thing just plows through material and never
Yeah.
stops.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you could bog that thing down if you tried.
That's the thing. Yeah, like I don't know who these guys are who need the super powerful circular saws
Oh, it's
anyways.
unnecessary.
Like I have I think we talked about this last week, but I have like the smallest DeWalt cordless circular saw, the six and a
Yeah.
half inch one. That thing plows right through LVL beams, which is like the equivalent of 4 sheets of plywood stacked together. So, like,
Yeah.
what more than that are you cutting on a regular basis?
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had I had like a random 4x4 post.
Yeah.
And I basically took that Milwaukee circular saw. Again, it has like a 24 tooth blade or whatever the hell the construction blade is.
Yeah.
And I just went full bore, like tried to bog the saw down, and
Yeah.
it just ripped right through it.
Would it cut in one pass or no? I'm trying to think. A 7.5 inch blade? No, there's almost no way you'd get.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You got to do it in 2 cuts, right?
But so I was just like ran it up the 4x4 and like I was going fast.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
stop. I was like, this is nuts.
Dude, that's
Crazy.
crazy. Have you ever seen those big circular saws where it's got like a 10-inch blade on it or 12-inch blade on it?
Like those like beam saws.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's scary to
They
me.
are pretty scary to look at. I don't. Does anybody make a cordless beam saw? I'm gonna look that up.
I doubt it.
Oh, I bet somebody does. Cordless beam saw.
I don't know. The only
Uh
people I've ever seen him use it is that Matt Cremona guy that like has like the sawmills and stuff.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, maybe nobody makes a cordless beam saw. Looks like Makita makes one. How big is this? It's hard to tell. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Makita makes a 10 1/4 beam saw. So that would cut your 4x4 post in one single shot. That's
How much
funny.
does that thing cost?
$600
Tool
US, I think.
only?
No, yeah, tool only, $600 Canadian, so maybe 450, 500 American.
Dear God.
Oh, and
Can you imagine how cumbersome and heavy that thing is though?
oh yeah. It has, look, here's a picture of it. It's got a handle. Oh, come on, phone. Why are you doing this
That's
to
a
me?
10-inch?
That's it. Yeah, I know, right? The scale is so hard to tell. It looks
Okay.
like just
Okay, it's
any
got a side handle on it, yeah.
yeah, exactly. It just looks like any circular saw you've ever seen. But yeah.
Huh,
Have you ever
interesting.
tried a cordless chainsaw?
No, but it sounds exciting.
That's something I've been wanting to try. I have no application for it and no real need for it, so I don't know what I would do with it, but I do find it very tempting. Every time I'm at the tool store.
So here's a question I have because I have no knowledge of chainsaws.
Mhm. Nor do
So
I.
chainsaws, like typically you do that to like knock down trees and stuff,
I
right?
believe so, yes.
Like you wouldn't use a chainsaw ever in a home remodeling, would you?
I don't think so. The only thing I could think again would be like timber frame construction. You might use it
Yeah.
there, but I've always wanted to use a chainsaw for demolition, just like cutting through all the studs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I've never done it.
And so chainsaws, why do they have to wear those like fancy pants? Do you have
Great
an issue
question.
with like the chainsaw getting like bound and like coming back at you?
I guess you must, yeah. I mean, why else would you wear the chips aren't that bad, so yeah, I would assume it's maybe it tends to like shoot back and down.
Oh, yeah, with the way the blade is
Uh,
spinning that it wants to come towards you, perhaps?
yeah, I'm wondering. But then like you'd think you'd be in like full leathers or something like that, right?
I
Not just
don't
your
know. If
pants.
anybody listening
Yeah, we're the chainsaw
is a
experts at.
chainsaw aficionado, please send us an email at podcast at Gmail. Is that our
Yeah.
email?
I,
Yeah, off the cut podcast at gmail.com. Let us know so we can speak wisdom into everyone about chainsaw safety.
have you ever got a new like cell phone number and somebody asks like, "Hey, what's your number?" You're like, "Oh," and you like start saying it. And you're like, "Oh, I don't actually know my own number."
Dude, I feel like that so often now, or like somebody like, real quick, what's your phone number? And I'm like, it like
Yeah,
takes me a minute.
yeah. I feel that way every time I had to give it the off the cut email address. I'm just like, "What is the email for that again?" I get
I
that.
mean, it seems like it's pretty generic, but yeah,
Yeah.
I still forget it.
I get that all the time when people ask me how old I am. I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I was born in '88, so carries the 3."
Yeah.
Oh.
So we were having this discussion um the other night over a nice stiff cocktail.
Ooh,
And I'm curious to hear your response to this.
okay.
So, it's about age.
Mhm.
Have you noticed, and maybe you haven't, that in your head, the reason when somebody asks you how old you have a different like mental picture or like feeling of yourself than your actual age?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I always felt like I'm a little bit of a kid at heart.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like most people get locked into like their 20s or something like that.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, definitely.
And so I got asked the question. Somebody was like, "All right, so like how in your head, like how old do you like feel that like you act or like what age do you feel like you resonate the most with?" And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Okay, well like I'm not interested in just like let's go to the bars, let's go clubbing and get
Totally.
wild
Yeah.
every single night." So like I wouldn't say I'm like 20 or whatever. But I don't know, like, I still, like, feel like I'm pretty fun, pretty lighthearted, like, down for whatever. I was like, I don't know, like, 25?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say yeah, maybe a little bit older for me. I might say like 28 or something like that, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely in that kind of mid to late 20s range. Cuz you're right. It's my early 20s was like so much about like, going to parties and drinking with my buddies and stuff like that. But it's like that stuff doesn't excite me nearly as much anymore. I still enjoy drinking with my buddies, but it's not at bars. It's like, in their backyard or something like that.
Yeah, just hanging out, having a nice conversation. It's not like the end goal isn't like, "We're playing beer pong tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo!" Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, "Nah."
Nah, let's hang out and have a good conversation.
Or like, "I wanna go play golf and drink some beers." Like, that's not
Yeah,
something you would have said at that age.
very true. Very true.
Oh, that's what was that? Hold on, there's something else I wanted to ask you. Oh,
Okay.
any other tools you can think of, cordless versus corded?
I mean, miter saw I'm kind of on the fence on. I really want to get a cordless miter saw and try it out. I have a small cordless miter saw, like a 7.5 inch one.
Useless.
I wouldn't say useless. I've actually used it a couple times for trim work, and it works pretty well.
Oh, that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
like cutting door jams and like trim around doors, cord around stuff like that. It worked pretty good for that.
What's the biggest like 90-degree crosscut capacity on that thing? Like two
It's
by six?
might even do 7. It slides, so it's pretty good.
Oh, it's a slider. Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
yeah. It's the Craftsman one. It's a surprisingly good quality saw. I've been
Would you
very
say
happy
that's
with it.
like pretty much a strictly a home improvement kind of thing? Like a job site kind of tool?
Yeah, yeah. I would not use that for like woodworking or furniture making in
Yeah.
any way. Yeah, that's definitely
Would it
home
probably be
improvement thing.
handy to like take to a room and like just like cut some stuff down real quick or whatever?
Oh,
Super light,
totally.
super portable.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is it's like it's small enough that you can just like pick it up and carry it around. Like it's not like a big setup or anything like that. It's really easy to use.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
dig it. I
yeah.
dig it. Miter saw. They do have. Do you have the battery powered table saw?
I do. I just got one of those recently.
How is
Um,
it?
it's good, man. I really like it. I would say the biggest issue with it is that it does still use quite a bit of battery. I
Yeah.
I didn't quite get the battery life out of it that I would have wanted, but having said that, it's still pretty good battery life. I think so. I was installing some hardwood floor at a client's place, and
Yeah.
I think I swapped the battery twice in one day.
Okay, so this probably you're working on the floor for 6 to 8 hours?
Yeah, something like that. So it was like,
Okay.
if you have two batteries, you're fine. Like the one battery will definitely charge by the time the other battery is done. But I just wanted it to be like all day on one battery for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe that was an unrealistic expectation on my part.
Was it a DeWalt one?
Yeah, it's a 60-volt DeWalt one.
Oh, the 60 volt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's
Huh.
great. Like the table saw itself is really good. I think we talked about this before, but it's got like the toothed fence adjustment, so you can like really
Yeah.
dial in every little adjustment on the teeth. So
That's
that
known for being, like, one of the best job site table saws.
yeah,
Everybody pretty much recommends the DeWalt one. It's
yeah,
more expensive,
yeah.
but
It's I have a Bosch one which I used for years, which was very good, but it was corded and it was starting to show its age a bit, especially with the fence not being that accurate. Um, so I was really happy to upgrade to the DeWalt. So, what were you gonna say?
no, 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 go, go, go.
Okay, so one thing, the going back to the miter saws for a second, the DeWalt miter saw, they have a cordless miter saw that takes
Uh-huh.
two 60-volt
60
batteries.
volt, yeah.
So it's like a 120-volt tool, but they also sell an adapter for it that slots into both battery slots, and then you can plug it into the wall.
Oh, I like that.
I really like that too, and I want the same thing for the table saw because you don't always need cordless. So it would be
Yeah.
nice to have that optionality. Um,
Or what would be really cool is if they had an outlet so, like, you could have the batteries on it, right? Hear
mhm.
me out. Then you can plug it in, still use the tool,
Yeah.
but as it's plugged in, it's charging the
Yes.
batteries.
That is okay. So I have the DeWalt radio that does that. You can either plug it into the
Okay.
wall and it will work off the wall, or you can plug a battery into it and it'll play cordless, or you can plug it into the wall and have it charge the battery, which I think is, I think all tools should do that really at the end of the day.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I like that though.
I
Like
do.
that
I
that
like
makes
that a
it
lot.
so much more versatile.
DeWalt makes a cordless tire inflator that,
Oh yeah, I've got one of those.
oh, you have one of those.
Not I got a rigid one. That's the only rigid tool I
Okay.
kept.
Okay. So answer me this. It can run off battery power. Can it also run off the 12 volts in your car?
Yeah, like this we call it like the cigarette out
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
So it can do that. So if you charge it,
Mhm.
if you plug it into your car, well, the battery's in it. Will it charge the battery?
No, you have to remove the battery because, like, the port is
Oh,
underneath where the battery thing
okay.
is.
Interesting. So I've been wondering that about the DeWalt one. Cause like I don't know about you, but I drive around all the time with an inflator in my truck just cause
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
yeah, it's got me out of a jam a couple times. But I don't want to, like if I have a battery in it, it's just gonna be dead when I go to use it. I don't know. It'd just be
Yeah.
nice if I could charge that battery occasionally by just plugging it in the car.
I thought about that too, and that's why I just if I ever have to use it, I've only used it once, thankfully. I just use the 12-volt cord thing
Right, right. But the thing
if I'm
is,
on the road.
yeah, and but I use it to help other people sometimes, and it gets kind of awkward, like trying to stretch it from your car. Sometimes it has a hard time reaching to the rear wheels, so a cordless one would be really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like you said, I don't wanna just travel with that battery, and I don't
yeah,
wanna have this, like, a weekly thing of like, "Oh, take that battery out, put another one in." I'm
that's true.
never gonna do that.
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
Ugh. You know what I did just see, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, especially because you have employees.
hmm
SawStop released a cheaper, more
Oh,
portable job site saw.
really? I would be.
8.99.
Okay. I mean, it's still expensive, but it's not bad. Like, okay, so what sacrifices do you make over their old one? Do you know?
Well, it looks substantially smaller.
Okay.
I guess if I see them side by side, I don't think it's out yet. So they call
Wow.
it the compact table saw versus the Job
Oh,
Saw
yeah.
Pro.
I think I'm
So
looking
it's
at
like
it right
half the
now.
price.
Yeah, the Job Site Pro was 2,000 bucks. I didn't know that was so expensive.
Yeah. So the job site, whatever the job site one,
Yeah.
that has like a folding stand and like
Yes.
it looks like a slide out table. It's a fairly like that's a good size table
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah.
This compact one looks like something you would quickly and easily, like, throw in the backseat of your car.
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a yeah, this is an interesting product. I would almost rather just get the one with the integrated stand
Yeah,
because here's the thing: you're gonna get the compact one, even though it's half the price. You're gonna spend another couple $100 on a stand for it because nobody's using this thing on the floor realistically, not to do any serious work, anyways. And then I don't know, the bigger one just looks like the footprint isn't actually that much bigger, but it looks like the small one lacks the ability to have a wing that comes out.
that's
Like
what it appears.
I'm looking at the photos of it and I can't see any table extensions. So it's literally just like your maximum cut width is like 6 inches, or maybe a little bit more than that, like 8 or 9.
Specs. It said no, it says maximum rip capacity 24 inches. So
Uh
it has to slide out.
oh yeah. Oh, okay. How does that work then? Oh, maybe it's see the geared teeth on the bottom? Sometimes those
Yeah,
fences will like hyperextend past the points of the actual
perhaps.
table.
Perhaps.
It's like a telescoping thing, maybe. Although I'm looking at the photos, it
That's
really doesn't look
interesting.
like it.
They definitely don't show it off in the photos.
No,
Hmm.
which worries me.
Yeah. It's an interesting product for sure.
Yeah.
But I guess so let's say you had this on a job site, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're working with your employees and you had that saw
Mm-hmm.
right next to your DeWalt one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the added, like, oh, you have to make sure that the cartridge is situated and you're not throwing any faults or anything?
Yeah.
Do you think that would deter people on a job site from actually wanting to use it?
I mean, kinda. So
That's what I was thinking.
it's funny to think about because at a certain point I would it sounds horrible to say this. I would start worrying about the saw because
Yeah.
you let the apprentice use it and he's ripping lumber on it and he's not thinking to look, oh hey, I gotta check to make sure that there's no staples in this 2x4 that I'm ripping. But
Yeah.
because the staple is going to set off the saw stop and it's going to blow the cartridge, it's going to blow the blade. It's like bam, there's $200. So it's one of
Mhm.
those things that I would buy and then I'd be like, okay, I'm the only one who can use the nice saw on site, right?
And then it's just a waste.
And then it's just a waste. And you're right, like trying to get it to like boot up properly and make sure there's no faults. It's kind of yeah.
It seems it doesn't seem like it would be great in a commercial environment.
Yeah, I already do the thing like if there's like a dangerous cut that needs to happen on the job site, I'm already like lit and like like I'll take the cut from one of my guys and be like, let me do this one. Like you just watch and
Sure.
see my technique and blah blah blah. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's just I don't think I could do it. I
Yeah,
think it seems to me it's more of the I could see this as like the weekend woodworker DIY person that wants a smaller, cheaper saw because it is about
yeah,
half the price.
yeah,
Um, that's
yeah.
more, portable. I don't know.
There is a niche for it. Like there's those like safety warrior guys out there who I could see going nuts for it.
Yeah. I mean, I know that as soon as I'm out of the apartment, I'm 100% buying a saw stop.
Oh yeah.
No question
Yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
Well, but the thing about the saw stop like for the workshop is that that's not only is it a safety thing, but it's also just a really nice saw, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not convinced that that saw is significantly better than like the DeWalt one that I already have.
Sure, and the DeWalt one's cheaper. You're just
Yeah,
paying for the safety
the
feature of
safety
it,
feature.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know. My
Interesting.
fingers aren't worth that much to me.
No, I mean, who needs fingers? Nobody needs fingers. Coming this fall. I don't know. I'd be curious to see it in person.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
Hmm.
I wonder, does it pass the hot dog test? It must.
What I want to know is what do they do with all these hot dogs afterwards?
What's interesting about hot dogs is that they're already pre-cooked. It's like pepperoni. So right after the the thing. I bet it's the guys are just eating them.
Dude, I feel like that's a conspiracy. Like, who's eating cold hot dogs out there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I love me a good hot dog, but I will
Oh, yeah.
still I would never stoop so low as to eat one cold. Unless it was like a life or death survival situation. Maybe like zombie apocalypse, then I might eat a cold hot dog, but
There's nothing more disappointing than a bad hot dog, though.
is there such a thing though?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I had an experience this weekend,
Uh-oh.
but I
Is
think
that
we share we I think that's a good one to start the, after show with.
I think so
Everybody's
too.
interested in the hot dogs, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Get those greasy meat missiles in your mouth. Well, what do you say? What we're over an hour. What do you say we wrap it
Are
up
we
here?
already over an hour? Man, time
Yeah,
flies. Okay, yeah, let's wrap this bad
we
boy
only
up.
got to one question too.
And we didn't swear. And
Ah, did
so
we?
I don't think so.
All right, I'm not marking it.
Okay.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's
That
exciting.
Look at us stepping up our podcasting game. But I'll gas up the grill, fire some hot dogs up, and we can head over to the after show.
Sounds good, buddy. See you there. Oh,
Do we have to say anything?
oh,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
if you want to watch the or listen, whatever the after show, patreon.com/off the cup podcast. You know
Mhm.
where it is by now.
Yep.
I don't need to say it.
Send us your voice notes. Did we get any new voice
Oh,
notes?
no,
Okay.
we didn't.
Well, people, come on, step it up. Send us some
It
voice
was
notes.
disappointing.
What else do we have to send us email to offthecutpodcast@gmail.com? I think, allegedly, maybe.
I think so. We only have 4 questions left
In the queue? Okay, we
on the
got
queue.
guys, you gotta come on, send us some questions. It
Or
doesn't
just doesn't even have to be a question. You could be like, "What's your take on hot dogs
yeah,
or
exactly. It
asparagus?"
doesn't have to be woodworking related. Ask us like boxers, briefs,
Yeah.
yeah, all those fun
Yeah.
questions. Okay, and then what I feel like there's another one that we're leaving out here. Email. Oh, check out the live stream on YouTube. If you're just
Oh,
listening right now, we
yeah.
do it live. You get to see it a little early, and there's a visual element to it that's kind of fun too. Usually Eric does a funky background, but today he
I
forgot.
didn't do it tonight. Didn't do it tonight. But yeah, we appreciate you appreciate you listening. If
Hmm.
you're too cheap to join the after show, we'll see you next week.
That's right.
All right. See you guys.
See you, everybody. Boom. Done.
Look at
And
us.
then mid-show time.
That's
The one where the guys
27.
are
No,
too cheap to protect their employees.
I
Uh,
like or the ones where the one see I always forget to write stuff down. How about when they lose their fingers?
yeah, the one where the guys lose a finger.
Yeah, I'm good with that one.
Okay. What about
I
okay?
mean,
What about the guy? Well, the one where the guys price a human digit. Yeah,
price a
Wes.
human life. I like. How about instead of human digit life, put
Okay,
a
okay.
the one where they put a price on a human life.